Hi, if you want to know how to stop smoking at a convention or a trade show, I think I can help. My name is Bill. I'm an ex smoker. I quit smoking about 15 years ago. I have, over the years, had the occasion to go to quite a number of trade shows and conventions, and I remember very vividly when I smoked how it felt. First of all, depending on how I traveled to the convention or the trade show, I had to worry about smoking. In a number of cases, because we had to go to several shows that were maybe about 5 or 6 hours away, so it was not uncommon for some other colleagues of mine in the area. We would rent a van and we would travel together, and there were a number of non smokers at the time. So, needless to say, unless we stopped somewhere to get something to eat or go to the bathroom, the rest of the time driving, I couldn't smoke, which gave me a lot of anxiety and made me very uptight inside. Certainly, the whole thought of going to a place that's not where I worked or not where I lived has enough anxiety in and of itself. But to you want to do your best, you want to prepare your best, you want to impress your bosses, you want to represent your company right, represent your colleagues right. So the pressure's on. When the pressure's on, you want to smoke. So the first leg of that is to get there and the limited amount of smoking. Then I remember when I would be there. Normally I would have to stay a night, several nighs. So you always had to make sure you somehow got a smoking room if it was available, and whoever you roomed with, that they were agreeable to you smoking if you had to share a room. Then there was always the dinners, the lunches, the breakfasts. You were generally on a time schedule, so maybe you had a group breakfast as a company, and then you had to start meetings, say at 8 in the morning. You had to make sure as a smoker that you left those 5 minutes that you could race to the nearest door and run outside and puff away, and then try to catch up with everybody else and make sure you weren't late for the meeting, because I definitely needed that nicotine fix. And the same was true with every meal. I always had to excuse myself and leave a little early. In most cases, I had to go outside, which in some cases was quite a walk, depending on the size of the facility I was in. And again, it might be raining outside, it might be snowing outside, it might be windy outside. But oddly enough, what I would generally find is that camaraderie, which might be a good thing, of that handful of smokers that were in the same boat as me. So if the group lunch was ending and we all had to be at meetings in 10 minutes, that same core group of people would be outside puffing away. And again, despite the weather, despite how cold it was, and everybody kind of having that little sheepish smile because we all realized what was going on. We were all smokers and we needed our fix. But it didn't make me feel too good. And then inside, I remember when we were at the show or at the convention, there'd always be those times where you're kind of, I want a cigarette, but it's too busy or too much is going on or something is about to start. And again, throughout the whole day, it was ongoing. You were always thinking about, well, can I sneak away now to have a cigarette? Can I, should I wait? What is going to happen? Is this going to work? And it just created an overbearing problem for me the whole time I was there. So instead of me learning, instead of me enjoying, instead of me engaging, instead of me representing, instead of me putting my best foot forward to my bosses or to my company, my worries were focused on where was I going to have a cigarette. Just very mixed up. Needless to say, once I quit, which as I said before, it's been about 15 years ago, going back to events like that, when I'd finish eating and walk back with my group, I would be at a meeting, I would be on the trade show floor, wherever it might be, and it didn't matter at all. I was not thinking about cigarettes. That was just not in my vocabulary. And what a difference it made. Not to mention I felt better, I breathed better, I could stand longer, all the good things that, when you quit smoking, you feel like a different person. So anyway, if you need to or want to quit smoking before a convention or a trade show, I would like to tell you that 15 years ago when I quit smoking, one thing I did a little uniquely is at the time I documented everything I did, how I felt, what I did ahead of time, what I did at the point I was going to quit. I documented how I felt as well as after. And now, 15 years later, as I get near retirement, I've decided to put this all together as a program and make it available to help other people quit smoking. And it will sell for less than the cost of one carton of cigarettes in many places around the country right now. So if you are interested and you'd like to learn a little bit more, that you stand nothing to lose, I will tell you that I believe this program works. I literally bet my life on it. So check the link out below, click the link, find out more information, and I look forward to seeing you as a non-smoker.